The end of the world is coming, and it's filled with angels that shoot demons like John Wick with wings. Well, that's what I got from the trailer for today's movie. This is 2007's Gabriel. Spoiler alert, while I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it for yourself. Links to the film are in the description. And for those of you that need to hear this is just a movie. All stunts are for the sake of story and shouldn't be attempted on your own. Viewer discretion is advised. This story takes place in Purgatory, and the Archangels and the Fallen Ones can only send one warrior at a time to fight for control of it. Gabriel remembers feeling himself falling, and he comes to after he takes human form in Purgatory. At first he seems disoriented, but he eventually gets it together. Can you really blame him? This guy just fell from heaven. I can't even be on a plane as it lands without my ears plugging. He probably can't hear anything at all right now. Then Gabriel asks the Void for forgiveness, and he makes his way to a nearby town. Next, we meet Samael, and he's addressing other fallen members. Baliel doesn't seem to care about what he's talking about, but apparently Samael knows that Baliel has a bigger problem with him. Samael rushes Belial, and he twists his head all the way around on his spine. Now that Samael has made himself clear to the others, he addresses the follower that brought Baliel to him, and he tells him that he has a gift for him. Meanwhile, Gabriel makes his way down the torn streets, and he notices that the denizens of Purgatory aren't doing so well. Granted, it's Purgatory. How well could they really be if you think about it? Purgatory isn't supposed to be pillows and clouds all around, but I really wasn't expecting to see fire barrels around every corner. Eventually, Gabriel comes to an abandoned apartment, and he notices a note that Michael left for him. Michael warns Gabriel that the other angels have failed, and Gabriel picks up 2 pistols from the sink. When Gabriel leaves, he senses a disturbance elsewhere, and he senses the Fallen around town. The Fallen seem to sense him back, though. Someone else seems to call out to Gabriel, and they tell him to silence his mind since everyone can hear him. Suddenly, Moloch comes rushing down the alleyway to attack Gabriel, and Gabriel gets to show off his arsenal of moves. In the end, it comes down to Gabriel getting a hold of his pistols again. Across town, Samael can sense Moloch's defeat, and he knows that someone's coming for him. Gabriel follows his intuition, and he comes across a motorhome just outside of town. A man answers the door, and he tries to get Gabriel to leave. But Gabriel finds his way in and asks him where he can find URIEL. I could be wrong, but I never thought I'd see angels breaking and entering while holding guns up to random people's heads. But here we are. It turns out that this man is actually URIEL, and he has turned his back on the Angel Order since things are harder in Purgatory than they were originally told. URIEL tells Gabriel that another thing they weren't told is that when an Arch or a Fallen dies in Purgatory, they die for real, even the soul. While URIEL is okay to turn his back on his fellow Arcs and humans, Gabriel is not. As he goes to leave, he grabs a knife and stabs URIEL on his way to bring him back out of hiding. Sure enough, URIEL uses his angelic power to heal the wound. Across town, Samael meets up with AHRIMAN, and he warns him that Gabriel is the new angel presence they sensed. Samael tells him that the plan is to wait for Gabriel to fall prey to the pleasures of the city, but AHRIMAN thinks that they should stop sitting around and waiting. Samael proves that he's the boss though, and AHRIMAN agrees to follow orders. Meanwhile, URIEL is resting in bed and smoking. Again, who would have thought that we'd see angels smoking in a movie? I never thought I'd see angels like this. These guys are awesome. URIEL tries to teach Gabriel how to hide his angelic self just enough that he can blend in with the humans around the city. Just outside the club, Jade leaves the club, and she's not in the mood for her boss's usual advances. After she makes it a little bit down the street, she heads for a hotel, and she reads the number written on her hand. Back at the motorhome, URIEL is on his feet, and he tells Gabriel what happened to the Arcs that came before him. He believes that Raphael is still around. He doesn't know what happened to Michael, and Amatiel lost her wings and became mortal. It turns out that Amatiel is actually Jade now. Gabriel plans to save her, and URIEL tells him about the funhouse club that she works at. I'm surprised that this movie didn't draw more attention than it did. Actually, I don't think anyone really ever heard about this movie unless they knew about Andy Whitfield playing Spartacus. This is a gem already though, I think everybody should know about it. In town, Jade sits on the bed and she shoots up with a drug that the Fallen make. Meanwhile, Gabriel walks into the funhouse, and he finds out that Jade is out on a private call. Suddenly, Asmodeus comes downstairs, and he senses something in Gabriel. When the receptionist comes back, Asmodeus tells her to give him half price, but Gabriel gets a glimpse of where Jade has gone after he touches the receptionist's hand. At the hotel, Jade wakes up to find the snitch that Samael was rewarding and his friend. Jade finds out that they don't want to play by the rules, but that's not going to stop them. They hit her and get ready to take turns, but Gabriel knocks at the door just in time. Gabriel knocks down the door and takes out the 2 Fallen before grabbing Jade and walking out. He takes her to another room and he helps clean her up. When she comes to, she tells him that she has to get back to work, but he stops her. Gabriel tells her to rest, and he tells her that he's going to help her. He grabs her arms and uses his angelic power to drain her body of the drugs that are coursing through her veins. Whew, that's the ultimate detox. We need something like that in real life. When he's done, Jade is terribly upset that he pulled her out of her stupor, and she tells him that the war is lost. He tries to give her hope of returning to paradise as a soul, but she doesn't think she could last in Purgatory as a human for that long. Gabriel won't give up hope though. Samael goes to talk to Lilith about the presence they felt, and she's disappointed that he's hesitating in taking Gabriel. Yet, Samael reveals that he wants Gabriel to draw out all of the other arcs that are left in Purgatory so he can snuff out all of the light in one fell swoop. And he turns his attention to Lilith's guests. Gabriel and Jade make their way through the city as Gabriel tells her that he's actually hungry. She wants to take him to the soup kitchen, but he's a little hesitant at first when he thinks about how the people of Purgatory need it more than they do. Jade reminds him that they're just as needy at the moment, and they sit for a little meal. Once they sit down, Jade tells Gabriel that the guy that served them was actually another arc, URIEL. Gabriel decides to confront URIEL in the middle of the kitchen, but he's not so forgiving with him. URIEL assures him that he's doing the best he can, but Gabriel doesn't think that it's good enough. After URIEL makes his point to Gabriel, Gabriel embraces him, and he tells him that Raphael is here as well. Jade walks out of the kitchen, and URIEL takes Gabriel underground to a cell that holds Raphael. Oh man, Raphael looks like he's got 2 whole feet in the grave. If they've all got healing powers, why are so many of them crippled and broken? Apparently Raphael ran out of angelic powers, and he tells Gabriel not to waste his power on him. Well, of course, Gabriel doesn't listen and he heals Raphael. Raphael's not happy that Gabriel wasted his strength, but Gabriel's too confident that he's done what he was supposed to do. Raphael tells Gabriel that Samael actually draws power from the other Fallen, so Gabriel decides that he'll take out all the Fallen one by one. Gabriel asks about Michael, and all Raphael can tell him is that he felt Michael's life force fade away after he fought Samael. Gabriel doesn't trust the fact that Samael hasn't tried to take him yet though. After that, Gabriel says his goodbyes, then we cut to AHRIMAN's drug-running business, but then he senses Gabriel coming. This is Purgatory. Why does it look like another druggie sweatshop from Miami? You mean to tell me that they couldn't afford to use something other than shotguns and AKs to defend the drugs? Obviously Gabriel has no problems, but that's my point. You're defending against homeless druggies and archangels. You'd think you'd have better defenses. After an intense supernatural throwdown, it ends with Gabriel putting a bullet right in the middle of AHRIMAN's forehead. Across town, Samael, Asmodeus, and Lilith sit down to come up with a plan on how to take out the arcs that they can sense. Samael tells them to take out URIEL, Raphael, and URIEL, and he'll take out Gabriel only after they're dead. A little later on, Gabriel lies down in bed to draw a rendition of Jade, and after that, he dreams of the Purgatory that he's experienced so far. He's woken with a jolt when he senses Jade come in, and she lies down on the bed to look at the drawing. URIEL stumbles out of his motorhome to relieve himself, and he can sense something else out there. In the city, a crippled figure stumbles into the soup kitchen. When the hooded man leaves, URIEL notices that he left behind his bag, and he walks over to inspect it. URIEL, on the other hand, gets shot while he tries to get the last drops out of the bottle he's drinking. URIEL opens the bag to find out that he triggered an explosive device that took out the entire soup kitchen. Suddenly, Samael senses Raphael, who's trying to run out of the underground passages. While Raphael runs into a dead end, URIEL is continuously shot by Lilith as she makes her way closer to his motorhome. She gets her shot off first though, and Samael finishes Raphael off at the same time. Well, we just lost the entire supporting cast in about 4 minutes. Gabriel shouldn't even have bothered dragging them back into things. Jade can't really do anything, so she can't really hurt anyone either, but everyone else really didn't help. Gabriel goes to investigate the soup kitchen aftermath, and he catches a glimpse of Asmodeus in the eyes of one of the victims. Just then, we can catch a glimpse of Gabriel losing his arc status as his eyes change to the same color as the Fallen. Fueled by anger, he goes on a rampage at the Funhouse Club until he's able to meet Asmodeus face to face. After Asmodeus has his monologue, Gabriel disfigures his face with the shells from the shotgun. Now that Asmodeus is furious, the time for talk is over, and they fight throughout the hallway. It all comes to an end after Gabriel fires a shotgun round right into Asmodeus' gut. Then he finishes him off by beating him with the butt end of the gun. Well, looks like we lost Gabriel. Not really, but we might as well have at this point. Angels are frickin' terrifying now. Thanks for that. I'm not sure if I'd rather deal with angels in this movie or the giant rock monster ones that are in Noah. After a boy wanders out into the hallway, Gabriel manages to rein himself in and he lets the angel inside of him come out again. He heads back to Jade's room, and she can tell that something is troubling him. Oh my god, are angels about to get it on? Can they even do that? Since I know all of you have probably been waiting for something to happen between Jade and Gabriel, I'm going to tell you that the answer is definitely a yes. They without a doubt get it on. Gabriel's got a sick back tattoo too. Might have to add that to my list of tattoos. When Gabriel and Jade are finished, Gabriel tells her that they won't see each other again after he leaves. She tells him not to tell the other angels what happened here when he goes back to paradise. Gabriel leaves to find a way to get closer to Lilith, and he uses a street dealer to get there. Lilith is with Samael, and she's not happy with his hesitation to act on their fallen brethren. Lilith goes to walk out of the club, but Gabriel passes her and shoots her up with way too many drugs. After whispering in her ear, he stabs her with one too many doses, and she collapses to the floor. Now he makes his way up to Samael's private booth, and he finds that he's no longer there. Gabriel goes deeper into the back, and he winds up running right into Samael. Gabriel follows him to the roof, and Samael tells him that he can sense how weak he's growing. Samael tries to tell him that he has no desire to fight him, and he just wants Gabriel to listen to what he has to say. He tries to point out that they really aren't all that different, and he makes it known that he's the reason that Gabriel wasn't killed. Finally, Gabriel can sense who he's really fighting. Yep, that's Michael. Michael takes this chance to try and recruit Gabriel, but Gabriel can't be swayed. He shoots Michael repeatedly, but Michael is way too powerful for that. He pushes the bullets back out of his body, and he comes after Gabriel, who's run out of rounds. The fight rages on until Gabriel puts some distance between him and Michael so he can heal a bit. Michael searches for Gabriel, and he tells him that he did all of this for him. Michael impales Gabriel with a pipe, and Gabriel still tries to convince him to change his ways. With his final bit of energy, Gabriel impales Michael with the same pipe, and peace is achieved. The most amazing part of this is the fact that the pipe never budged while inside of Gabriel. He actually just shoved it through Michael like a toothpick in a club sandwich, but it doesn't slide around inside of him? That's mind-blowing. The two of them lie on the roof dying, and Michael uses what energy he has left to heal Gabriel. While Michael fades away, Gabriel stands and cries out to God. He doesn't think that he can return after what he's experienced, and he refuses to let new arcs come back to try and claim Purgatory. Gabriel stands on the edge of the roof and he falls to the ground. I thought angels couldn't commit suicide, but this movie's making me question how much I really knew about religion to begin with. The sun rises for the first time in Purgatory, and then the credits roll. Again, I'm really upset that this movie never got the attention that it deserved. This isn't the best picture of the year, but it deserves more attention than none, which is what it got. Go check this out. If you like the Max Payne movie, this is definitely a similar style. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.